Welcome back to the channel. Have you been sensing an emotional wave washing over you? The waning crescent moon of March 2025 is bringing deep changes, and today we're going to explore how it's going to affect your relationships. Let's uncover what the stars have in store for you. As the moon reaches its waning crescent phase in March 2025, the celestial energies shift, bringing a sense of introspection, closure, and emotional recalibration. This phase, the last before the new moon, is often associated with letting go, spiritual awareness, and preparing for new beginnings. In relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, this period may bring a mix of deep reflection, heightened emotions, and a need for release. During this time, many individuals may find themselves feeling more withdrawn or contemplative. The waning crescent is a time when energy levels naturally decrease, leading to a desire for solitude or quiet moments of self-reflection. This can sometimes create distance between partners or friends, not out of disinterest or conflict, but rather a subconscious need to retreat inward. If one person in a relationship is more affected by the moon's energy than the other, misunderstandings may arise. One partner may crave deeper conversations about emotions and past wounds, while the other may not feel the need to engage in such discussions. For couples, this phase can be a powerful time to address unresolved issues, but it is also a period where sensitivity is heightened. Small misunderstandings may feel larger than they actually are, and old wounds may resurface. However, rather than seeing this as a negative influence, the waning crescent invites partners to release past grievances, to forgive, and to move forward without carrying unnecessary emotional burdens. Those in long-term relationships might find themselves reflecting on the journey they have shared, revisiting memories, and considering what needs to change to create a healthier, more fulfilling connection. For those who are single, the waning crescent can be a time of emotional release and preparation for new love. It is a phase of endings, which means some individuals may find themselves letting go of past relationships or lingering emotional attachments that no longer serve them. There may be a strong urge to declutter, not just physically, but emotionally, cutting ties with old patterns, unhealthy relationship dynamics, or even people who drain energy. This is a time of clearing the heart space, making way for new love and meaningful connections in the coming lunar cycle. Friendships and family dynamics may also experience shifts during this phase. Because emotions can be more delicate, misunderstandings or unspoken tensions might come to the surface. However, rather than leading to conflict, this moon phase encourages peaceful resolutions and quiet contemplation. People may find themselves naturally withdrawing from social activities, needing time to recharge emotionally. This is not a sign of disconnection, but rather an organic process of conserving energy before the new lunar cycle begins. Spiritually, the waning crescent is a time for surrender. In relationships, this means surrendering control, releasing expectations, and allowing things to flow naturally. If there have been power struggles, ego clashes, or unresolved tensions, this is the perfect time to let go and trust the process. Those who resist change or hold on to past hurts may find themselves feeling emotionally drained, while those who embrace the moon's energy of release will feel a sense of renewal as the phase transitions into the new moon. As the waning crescent phase of March 2025 deepens, emotions continue to shift, drawing individuals further into a state of introspection. This is a time when clarity begins to emerge, not through active confrontation or forceful communication, but through quiet reflection. Relationships that have been clouded by confusion or emotional fog may start to feel lighter, as the energy of release encourages people to let go of old doubts, insecurities, and grudges. For those in romantic partnerships, this phase may bring moments of deep emotional intimacy, though not necessarily through words. The connection between two people during the waning crescent is often more intuitive, existing in the silent moments rather than in long conversations. A simple touch, a meaningful glance, or the quiet presence of a loved one can speak volumes. However, for those who resist vulnerability, this energy can feel unsettling. Some may struggle with the urge to withdraw entirely, feeling uncertain about their emotions or reluctant to open up. This is where patience becomes essential. Understanding that everyone processes emotions differently can help prevent misunderstandings. If a partner or friend seems distant, It may not be a sign of disinterest, but rather an indication that they are working through their own emotional cycles. Instead of pushing for explanations or demanding clarity, the best approach is to offer space while remaining open and present. Acts of kindness, small gestures of love, and quiet reassurance will go much further than intense discussions during this phase. In contrast, relationships that have been built on unstable foundations may begin to show clear signs of wear. The waning crescent's influence has a way of stripping away illusions, revealing truths that were previously ignored or denied. Those who have been avoiding necessary conversations or suppressing their true feelings may find that they can no longer do so. This is not a destructive force, but rather a cleansing one. It provides an opportunity to acknowledge what is no longer working and to release it with grace rather than resistance. For friendships, this phase may bring a need for solitude. Social interactions might feel more draining than usual, and people may naturally withdraw from excessive communication. This is not a reflection of disconnection, but rather a sign of personal recalibration. Those who honor this need for space will find that, as the new lunar cycle begins, their relationships feel more balanced and authentic. Friendships that are strong will endure these quiet moments, while those that were built on superficial connections may naturally fade away. Family dynamics may also be influenced by this energy. Long-standing tensions might surface in subtle ways, but instead of leading to conflict, there is an opportunity for resolution. The waning crescent encourages forgiveness, not necessarily in the form of direct confrontation, but in a quiet acceptance of what is, and a willingness to move forward without carrying resentment. This is a time when many will find themselves reflecting on their childhood, family history, and the emotional patterns they have inherited. A sense of closure can arise, allowing individuals to break free from cycles that no longer serve them. For those who are seeking new love, this is not necessarily a time of active pursuit, but rather a phase of preparation. The waning crescent is not about new beginnings, but about making space for them. Those who are still holding on to past heartbreaks or unresolved feelings may find themselves experiencing moments of release, whether through dreams, sudden realizations, or a quiet emotional shift. This is a time to clear emotional clutter, to make peace with the past, and to set intentions for the love that is yet to come. As this lunar phase comes to a close, a sense of stillness settles in. The days leading up to the new moon are some of the most introspective, offering a final opportunity for release before the cycle begins anew. This is a time to rest, to reflect, and to trust that whatever has been let go of was never meant to be carried forward. Relationships that have weathered this phase with patience and understanding will emerge stronger, while those that have naturally faded will make way for new, more aligned connections. The waning crescent of March 2025 is not a time of endings in the traditional sense, but rather a gentle transition, a quiet surrender to the flow of life, love, and human connection. Those who embrace this energy with an open heart will find themselves entering the next lunar cycle with renewed clarity, deeper emotional wisdom, and a greater sense of peace within their relationships. As the waning crescent of March 2025 reaches its final days, the energy of release deepens, urging individuals to fully surrender to the changes that have been unfolding. This is the quietest yet most powerful part of the lunar cycle, where emotional burdens, unresolved conflicts, and lingering doubts dissolve into a space of acceptance. It is a time when relationships either find a deeper sense of unity through shared understanding or begin to naturally drift apart, making room for what is truly meant to remain. For those in long-term relationships, this is a period of profound emotional awareness. Couples who have navigated misunderstandings or emotional distance over the past weeks may now feel a subtle yet significant shift. The intensity of emotions that surfaced earlier in the cycle begins to soften, allowing space for healing and renewal. This is a time to sit in stillness with one another, to simply be present without the need for forced resolutions. The waning crescent does not demand immediate action. It asks for trust, patience, and a willingness to let things unfold naturally. Some may find themselves experiencing moments of nostalgia, reflecting on the journey they have shared with their partner. Old memories may resurface, not to cause pain, but to remind them of the love and history that still exists beneath any recent challenges. Others may feel an internal knowing that a chapter in their relationship is closing, not out of anger or resentment, but as part of the natural rhythm of growth and change. This is a time of quiet realizations, of listening to one's inner truth without fear. For those who are single, the final days of the waning crescent bring a sense of completion. If there have been lingering feelings for a past love, this phase allows for the final emotional release. Dreams may carry symbolic messages, offering closure that words never could. There may be an unexpected sense of peace, as if the heart is finally ready to move forward. This is not a time to chase love, but rather to prepare for the love that is on its way. By making peace with the past, one creates space for something new to emerge in the coming lunar cycle. Friendships, too, are affected by this quiet transformation. Some friendships may feel distant, not because of conflict, but because both individuals are undergoing personal shifts that require solitude. Others may experience a deepening of connection through unspoken understanding. A simple check-in, a thoughtful message, or an act of kindness can serve as a powerful reminder that even in quiet times, true friendships endure. Family dynamics may also reach a point of emotional resolution. Long-standing tensions that have lingered without clear resolution may now fade, not necessarily because of direct confrontation, but because the energy of resistance is finally released. Some may find themselves feeling a quiet acceptance of their family members as they are, rather than wishing for them to change. This is a powerful moment of inner peace, recognizing that love does not always come in the form we expect, but it exists nonetheless. The waning crescent is a sacred time for surrender. In relationships, this surrender means releasing control, letting go of expectations, accepting what cannot be changed, and trusting that what is meant to remain will do so. The urge to force conversations, to demand answers, or to seek immediate validation fades away, replaced by a quiet confidence in the natural flow of life. As the final hours of the waning crescent approach, a deep stillness settles in. The energy of the past cycle has been processed, and a new beginning is just over the horizon. This is a time to rest, to breathe, and to honor the journey that has unfolded. Relationships that have survived this phase with patience and understanding will step into the new moon with renewed clarity and strength. Those that have gently faded away will leave behind lessons, growth, and a readiness for the connections yet to come. When the new moon finally arrives, it will bring with it a sense of renewal, fresh energy, and the promise of new beginnings. But for now, in these final moments of the waning crescent, the focus is simply on being present, on embracing the quiet magic of endings, trusting that every release makes space for something greater, and allowing love, in all its forms, to transform and evolve as it is meant to. As the final whispers of the waning crescent fade into the darkness of the sky, a profound stillness settles over the emotional landscape of relationships. It is a moment suspended in time, a space between what was and what will be. The air feels lighter, as if the burdens carried throughout the past lunar cycle have finally loosened their grip. For many, this is a time of quiet reflection, a deep exhale before the arrival of the new moon's fresh energy. In the realm of love, this transition brings an undeniable sense of clarity. Those who have struggled with uncertainty in their relationships may find that answers arrive not through force, but through a deep inner knowing. A partner's actions may suddenly make more sense, or past conflicts may feel less significant than they once did. The heart, having surrendered its need for control, now understands that love is not about possession, but about presence. For couples who have weathered emotional storms during this lunar phase, a newfound appreciation for one another begins to blossom. The misunderstandings that once felt overwhelming now seem like stepping stones toward deeper connection. Words are not always necessary. Sometimes love is simply found in the silence, in the gentle touch of a hand, in the unspoken understanding that remains even when emotions shift like tides. For some, the waning crescent's final lesson is one of release. Certain relationships, despite their beauty, may have reached their natural conclusion. There is no anger, no dramatic farewell, just a quiet acknowledgement that the paths once intertwined are now meant to diverge. And in that acceptance, there is peace. The heart, though tender, is not broken. It simply makes space for what is yet to come. For those on a journey of self-discovery, this phase brings the realization that true love, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, begins from within. The relationships that thrive in the coming lunar cycle will be those rooted in authenticity, in mutual respect, in an unshakable foundation of self-awareness. There is no longer a need to seek validation from others. Instead, there is a newfound confidence in one's own worth. Friendships, too, take on a renewed energy. Those that have stood the test of time feel more sacred than ever, while those that have faded do so with gratitude rather than regret. The waning crescent teaches that not all connections are meant to last forever, but every relationship serves a purpose. Some come to teach, some to heal, and some to simply walk beside us for a time before parting ways. In family bonds, a sense of closure and understanding emerges. Long-standing grievances lose their weight, replaced by a quiet acknowledgement that love within a family is imperfect but ever-present. The desire to change or fix others gives way to acceptance, and with that acceptance comes freedom. There is no need to force reconciliation, only to honor the connection in whatever form it naturally takes. As the final night of the waning crescent arrives, the world seems to hold its breath. The sky is dark, empty, yet full of promise. This is the moment before the rebirth, before the cycle begins anew. It is a sacred pause, an invitation to rest before stepping into the unknown. As the new moon rises on the horizon, relationships are left transformed, not necessarily in grand dramatic ways, but in the quiet shifts that matter most. The heart feels lighter. The mind is clearer. The soul, having surrendered what no longer serves, is ready to embrace what comes next. As the final breath of the waning crescent slips into the void of the unseen moon, a deep sense of transition settles over the emotional world. It is as if the universe itself is holding a sacred space. One last quiet pause before the new moon's energy stirs the currents of change. The night feels different, heavier in its stillness, yet lighter in its essence. A paradox of endings and beginnings woven into the fabric of existence. For those in relationships, this liminal space between the lunar cycles carries a profound truth. Love, like the moon, moves through phases. There are moments of brightness where passion and clarity illuminate every path. And there are moments of shadow where uncertainty and silence demand trust. And now, in this moment of complete surrender, love exists in its purest form. Not as a need, not as a possession, but as an energy that flows freely, untouched by fear or expectation. Partners who have walked through the emotional tides of the waning crescent together may now find themselves in a space of deep intimacy, not necessarily through spoken words, but through the quiet recognition of one another's journey. There is no need for grand gestures, a simple glance, a hand resting in another's, the rise and fall of breath in perfect rhythm. These are the signs of a love that has survived the shifting tides. The heart, stripped of its burdens, is lighter now, ready to beat in harmony with another's, without the weight of past wounds. For some, however, the truth revealed in this darkness is different. The love they once clung to has gently unraveled, not in anger or regret, but in understanding. Some souls are meant to walk only part of the journey together, and in this quiet moment before the new moon, there is a recognition that it is time to part. There are no harsh goodbyes, no battles to be fought, only a peaceful acceptance that what was beautiful in its time must now transform. The final night of the waning crescent is an offering, a gift of release, allowing love to take a new form beyond the confines of attachment. For those who have spent this lunar phase in solitude, the energy of renewal begins to whisper through the air. The lessons of the past cycle settle into place, forming the foundation for the self-love and inner strength that will carry them forward. The longing for companionship is no longer rooted in emptiness, but in a deep, unwavering knowing that love will arrive when the soul is truly ready to receive it. The heart, having surrendered its past aches, now beats with quiet anticipation for the unknown beauty ahead. Friendships, too, are reborn in this transition. Those who have given space where it was needed, who have honored the ebb and flow of connection, will find their bonds strengthened in the days to come. There is no fear in distance, no doubt in silence, only the trust that true friendships, like the stars hidden beyond the dark sky, always remain even when they are not immediately seen. The coming days will bring reconnections, new laughter, and a deeper appreciation for those who have stood beside us through every phase. Family ties, often complex and layered with history, find a moment of peace in this stillness. Whether through quiet forgiveness, a whispered prayer, or simply the act of letting go of old expectations, this night offers the chance to make peace with the past. The realization dawns that love within a family is not always perfect, but it exists in its own way, in its own time, and that is enough. And then, as the final hours of the waning crescent dissolve into the void, a shift begins. The air seems to hum with an invisible force, a stirring beneath the surface of the soul. The darkness is no longer empty. It is filled with the quiet promise of what is to come. In the coming days, hearts will feel lighter, minds will clear, and new opportunities for love and connection will emerge. Those who have surrendered their burdens will find themselves open to love in ways they never expected. Those who have let go of what no longer serves them will stand ready to embrace what is meant to be. As the last breath of the waning crescent fades into the unseen embrace of the new moon, a hushed energy spreads through the world, a moment of sacred stillness before the dawn of a new cycle. The darkness that once felt heavy now carries a quiet promise, a subtle hum of creation stirring beneath the surface. It is not yet visible, not yet tangible, but it is there, waiting. For those who have surrendered to the lessons of the past lunar phase, this is a time of renewal. The weight of unspoken words, of past misunderstandings, of lingering doubts has been lifted. What remains is an openness, a space within the heart that is ready to be filled, not with fear or longing, but with possibility. In love, this shift is profound. Those who have walked through emotional storms, who have faced their truths under the waning crescent's reflective gaze, now find themselves standing in the quiet potential of something new. For some, this means rekindling the flame of an existing relationship, stepping forward with fresh eyes and an unburdened heart. For others, it is the first moment of readiness to embrace the love that awaits beyond the horizon. Couples who have navigated the past cycle's challenges may wake with a renewed sense of appreciation for one another. The conflicts that once felt overwhelming now seem distant, like echoes of a storm that has passed. What remains is clarity, an understanding of what truly matters, of the love that persists even through darkness. There is a tenderness in this moment, an invitation to begin again, not as who they were, but as who they are now, reborn in the quiet grace of the new moon. For those who have chosen to part ways, there is no longer sorrow and goodbye. The final traces of longing dissipate like mist at dawn, replaced by a deep sense of peace. Love in its truest form does not always mean staying. It also means knowing when to let go. The heart, having released its hold on what was, now beats with the rhythm of what is yet to come. For the souls who have spent this transition in solitude, the shift is equally powerful. The longing for companionship, once heavy with expectation, now feels lighter. There is no urgency, no need to search, only the quiet understanding that love will come when it is meant to. And when it does, it will find them whole. The heart, once cluttered with past echoes, now stands open, ready to receive without fear. Friendships, too, step into the light of this new beginning. Those who have given space where it was needed, who have allowed distance to exist without resentment, will find themselves drawn back together in ways that feel effortless. The connections that remain after the waning crescent's cleansing energy are the ones that are meant to last. New conversations will spark, laughter will return, and the bonds that survive this transition will feel stronger than before. Family ties, often the most complex of all, find themselves softened by the passing of the old lunar phase. Resentments, once deeply rooted, lose their grip. There is a newfound willingness to see one another as they are, without expectation, without the weight of old narratives. This is not always a loud reconciliation. Sometimes it is simply a quiet shift in perspective, an acceptance that love exists even in its imperfect forms. And then, as the first breath of the new moon stirs the sky, A new energy takes hold. It is subtle at first, like the first hint of dawn before the sun rises, but it is unmistakable. The air feels different. The weight of the past is gone. The path ahead is unwritten, waiting to be shaped by new choices, new connections, new love. This is the promise of the new moon, that in every ending, there is a beginning. That in the space left behind by what was, something new is ready to bloom. And as the first light of possibility flickers in the darkness, hearts open, souls awaken, and love, in all its infinite forms, prepares to rise once more. If you're ready for more lunar insights and spiritual guidance, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, trust the universe. It's always working in your favor.